So, I don't know. I'm kind of in the mood to rant at the universe, and we're going to do that in the dark and whatever. So, here we go. Like, the thing that I wish I could convey to these people was who they were dealing with. So, we're going to try that. Like, I kind of like to play a little bit like I'm Captain America. Ain't really so. I am Sauron, Lord of the Earth. I'm wearing the hat of Captain America because that's what Grandpa would want. Yeah. And, like, this is some shit that, like, if our enemies actually understood anything at all, what I just said would horrify them beyond reckoning. Because they would realize that basically the only thing keeping me from putting them on stakes and burning them alive is that Grandpa wouldn't like that. So, there's that. I try for Captain America. If we fall short, my grandfather was also okay with no prisoners, no survivors. Take all you want, loot all you want. Miss that man. If you want to get to know my grandfather, you should go watch the movie The Wind and the Lion, and you should watch The Raizuli. And you should realize that that was my grandfather in a pickup truck riding behind a bunch of bikers. The entire time I knew him. He never rode motorcycles. It wasn't his thing. It kind of not my thing either. I don't see the fucking need or point in doing it. It's stupid. It's not that it scares me. I've ridden way scarier shit than a motorcycle. I just don't see the sense in not doing that shit. If I wanted to feel the breeze in my face, I'd fly a biplane. Anyway. I loved seeing that movie because I was just watching it going, holy shit, it's my grandpa in a movie. And I was at a particularly dark, low moment when I watched that. And I don't know. I was reborn anew the night I watched that movie again. Say again. It's one of those that, like, I'm sure maybe it was on the TV once or whatever, and I didn't pay attention to it. It's like my favorite Sean Connery movie now. That's saying a lot, man. I have been thinking more about how to help Risky Christie. I have, some hookups and connections still. They're limited. I was thinking about pointing him at Never Enough Ammo. Because honestly, Matt would do videos with him. I'm sure Matt has seen his shit by now and probably thinks it's like, what if E Honda went airborne? Which is very much what it is, by the way. Like, he smokes a little bit less weed, maybe, than Honda did. Not that he smokes weed. I don't know. I'm just guessing based on, he likes to go in the woods and rant. I would smoke weed while doing that. I haven't been drinking enough water. And, I can tell it's not good. I need to go drink more water. Hydrate, people. I need to do a video on radio shit. Like, I don't want to make this that video, but I was watching Risky Christie's latest video on Baofangs or whatever because of something he said about it, and in our conversation, and I don't know, man. Like, it's a whole thing. I want to do an hour-long thoughts on tactical radios. Like, that's a worthwhile thing. And honestly, now that I have a way to talk to him or whatever and can get a hold of him, I'm going to see if I can get him to do a live podcast or whatever with Hashnasi, who is Ham Radio Crash Course, because I know that motherfucker too. And if I could get those two on air, I'm the odd man out because I'm in the camp of, you shouldn't get a license because the government's going to get you. It would be a good show. It would also be hilarious for, like, I would need to be on camera for that, and so would Risky because he has a fucking, like, crazy face mask shit, and just, like, the sight of the two of us discussing tactical radios on the internet with Josh. Oh, man, this is gonna be great. Oh, this is gonna be so great. I should really do this. Only I could pull this together. Only I know both of them. And to be honest, I have an interest in tactical radios. Fuck it, let's make this the tactical radio video. You had to listen to all of that just to get to our hour-long discussion on fucking tactical radios. It won't be an hour, hopefully. I don't think I have camera memory for that. Short discussion on tactical radios. So, I am a user of the Baofeng 5R. I've had about 4 of those. They're all dead. The last one, I was going to pull it out to show to you guys, but I actually gave it to Leighton in his box of stuff for Christmas. I figured a dead radio would probably be a thing a kid would want to play with. Something I would have wanted to have. I mean, like, I have a real radio, but it doesn't work. Like, that's fucking dope. It just is. So, that's why I don't have one to show you. I don't own one now because I don't really have anyone to communicate with. I need to get them. It's on my list of shit to do. It's just, to be honest, I have a phone. It works. I am not entirely convinced that things are going to go bad to the point that the phones stop working. And I don't have money to spend on radios right now while I'm finishing up other projects that I place a higher priority on, which is my car and my primary weapon. Which I think most people would say, yeah, you should probably take care of both of those before you get to radios. And if I did buy something, Josh told me a brand of radio to look for that was like $70. I'll find what that is and do a video on those. But from what he said, it's basically just a much nicer Baofeng 5R. It's much more durable. And I'm like, yeah, it would be nice. And I think, again, last time I had 4 Baofangs because I wanted to have a group of them to intercommunicate, right? I didn't really give a fuck about intercommunicating with the world. I wanted badass walkie-talkies. And, I didn't get a ham license because I'm not going to fucking use them. I'm going to buy them, set them up, program them however they need to be programmed, and then put them in a box. Okay? And whenever we use them without the license, we will be moving and on the run someplace out in the country. And if they fucking come direction find us, okay. I honestly, do you know how to use a radio? Question. And like Risky in his video covered this, which I liked, which is basically you don't stay on the radio long. And you don't say, hey man, let's meet at 1066 West Addison or whatever in Chicago, Illinois. You say, the chair's against the wall. John has a long mustache in Tulsa. or whatever. Like, you have pre-established code phrases. That shit's basically unbreakable. Because you don't, like, green beans could mean guns. Green beans could mean green beans. You have no fucking idea what it could mean. It was a pre-established thing between a group of people. And, like, this is some basic bitch, like, how to conduct field operations shit, right? But, like, this is why you don't say names on the radio, so they don't identify how many of you there are, if at all possible. And, like, in reality, having very, call signs like 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's probably a bad idea too. You should try to have it be an illusion as to how many of you there are. Other thoughts on radios, though, is like, I have ADD and I bounce around. But with the tactical radios in general, though, if you employ them like that, you need no fucking license, A. And B, I don't think you need to have encrypted radios and shit, man. I mean, maybe, like, if you're doing real hood rat shit against the feds, yeah, you should probably have best shit money can buy, right? But I don't think that's who we're talking to here. I think this is shit's getting bad. We might need to form militias to protect our neighborhoods kind of thing. And talking to those kind of people, having a set of radios that are all programmed on the same fucking frequencies and has a backup channel and having a fucking, like, pre-established radio language. This is how you conduct business. When I worked at AMC Theaters as a kid in high school, we did this on the radio. You didn't fucking talk about X, Y, or Z on the radio. And, like, that was company policy. It was company policy because they hired someone like Grant Ray to come in and tell them, what they should and shouldn't do. And one of the things that they were like, hey, man, maybe don't